Welcome to Have I Got Boobs For You podcast from Curvy Kate with your hosts Katie and Phoebe. I've got boobs for you. Curvy Kate's got news for you. Empower you, that's what we do. Stay tuned, babe, we've got you.
Today we're joined by Lex Gibbon. She's a singer-songwriter, curve model and self-love advocate. She's just a normal girl trying to live her dream, and she's only gone and created the Have I Got a Boost For You official Curvy Kate podcast intro for us, which I think we can all agree is the catchiest song you're going to hear all week.
Oh yeah,
Oh
baby.
yeah.
I loved writing it. It was so much fun.
It was really fun.
Catchy. I love it.
The three of us spent some time a few weeks ago in the studio with you when you recorded it, and that was good fun, wasn't it, Katie?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. I walked away from the afternoon thinking, I want to be a singer. Like, I've never felt more at home in a studio.
Yeah, I know. It's like a little dungeon, isn't it?
I know, we were there recording you, getting some cute behind the scenes content, so it was fun.
And I think just like the moment of hearing that song, because obviously it's like unique to Curvy Kate as a brand, you created something that covers everything that we do. I mean, just in case I didn't catch it at the start, can you do a little something?
Oh, ready.
Ready? I've got boobs for you. Curvy Kate's got news for you. Empower you, that's what we do. Stay tuned, babe, we've got you.
I just love it so much. I'm going to be dancing to that all day, every day.
It's honestly the best. And I think every person I've played it to in the business, they've all started doing like a little chair dance.
A little shimmy.
That is what I want. I want everybody to be dancing at home.
Well, we're in the process of creating a little dance to it that we're going to share maybe on like TikTok and
one.
Reels. You know, we can't refuse a trend, so
Never.
why not start our own?
Yeah, and we're waiting for our guests to kind of inspire us with some
Yeah.
of their moves as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that's key.
I think mine should be the leg shake.
The I know, nerves is getting the best of all of us. So it's like sweaty palms over here, leg shake over there. But we've got this. And obviously, we're a lingerie company, and we met via social media in lockdown. And we did a little virtual bra fitting together,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah.
So how was that for you? What size were you wearing before?
A 36 double D, and I'm in a 36F.
Yes.
So it's quite the difference. I was like messaging, I was like, I'm definitely a 36 double D, and you were like, okay, sure you are, okay. And then we did the virtual bra fitting, and then I had one in person today, and it was spot on, exactly right. So that was good.
Amazing.
And how does it make you feel wearing a good fitting bra? You know, going up like 3-4 cup sizes makes a difference to your body shape and how you feel.
Well, yeah, like underneath t-shirts, clothes just look so much better without even thinking about it. And I think for my posture,
It changes your posture,
yeah.
your confidence, just the way
Yeah.
you stand, like
Yeah.
the way you walk. And the way you sit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All of it.
And what I love is you're 17, right? It took me until the age of 21 to find a good fitting bra. So, like, you are years ahead of me right here.
I'm so glad. You know, and I'm sure you look back at pictures and you're like, why was I wearing that bra? That will never happen to me now.
Oh,
Gonna
absolutely.
look back at all the
Are you
pictures
telling
and
all
be
your
like, wow,
friends?
my boobs look great in that. They look great. They all look in the right place. I'm so excited about it. So
yeah,
good.
sometimes I find like old bras at the bottom of the drawer and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, it's like a 36 back, like a A cup. I'm like, no way.
Absolutely. How old were you when you first got your bra fitted?
It was when I first started working at Curvy Kate, because every new employee gets a bra fitting. And that was the first one. I must have been like 22, 23. Can't remember. It was a long time ago.
That's mad.
Yeah, I remember my first bra fitting was literally just in a high street shop, and they were like, stick that on. Oh, that fits. You can go now. And I just walked away with like 3 bras that just didn't fit me properly.
Yeah, I think it's an education, right? But we don't want it to be boring. And that's
No.
something that I think when you educate, especially when it comes to your body, you want to feel safe. You want to feel like you can trust the person. But you also want to have fun. I mean, I know I want to have fun with anything that I do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even when it comes to a virtual bra fitting or like a personal fitting. Just
Yeah.
always have a laugh, be kind, be nice, and just love your body. I think that's really key.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
I think that's what a Curvy Kate would do so well, especially
Yeah.
having someone like Katie, the official bra whisperer. Like the amount of good reviews we get on social media after they've had a fit in with like, well, our girls and our VBS. It's just like, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah.
They're also feeling so empowered, and they just want to go and buy all these bras in their new sizes because they just know it just improves their mood.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like people don't realize a bra can actually like change your like life in a way because it just changes how you like present yourself and how you feel that day and how your clothes fit.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. And talking about kind of like empowering messages and spreading the word, we've heard like a couple of your songs. You've got some out already on Spotify, and they do cover that body positive message. You're kind of a self-love advocate, and by doing that, did you do that because you felt there was a lack of that within the music industry, or it's because of something that you love to do?
I mean, I always loved Adele when I was younger, so I looked up to this woman who basically was like, it's about my voice, it's about, you know, the songs I write, it's not about what I look like. And I think obviously she's lost all her weight now, and it's like this whole thing of, you know, now I've seen so many things on Twitter like we all relied on her for like body confidence, and I'm like, you shouldn't rely on anybody to be comfortable in your body. Like obviously it's a journey and people take you through that, but yeah, it's not her job to do that for you. And I mean, you know, the industry, I think for a very long time the music industry was like stick thin women, and that's all you can look like, otherwise it's just not going anywhere for you. And it's nice to kind of hopefully try and break that a little bit, because it doesn't really matter what you look like, does it?
No, not at
I think
all.
that's the most important thing.
And I
Being
think with some of
comfortable
your
is more
lyrics,
important.
like what you talk about and how you sort of speak about, you know, empowering everyone is just so nice to hear, because everything you've just said is visual, right? We see someone's body, we look at the way that they look and all of that, but actually hearing and something that rhymes stays in your head more, right? So if you hear a song that's all like positive words, and even our theme tune, the way that you did that, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm humming that all day, and I'm feeling happy,
so
and I'm feeling
energetic.
good about my body. And I think that's what you sort of bring to Spotify and everywhere else.
I hope so. That's what I aim for, guys.
Love that.
So you're also a curve model, and you've walked in many fashion shows, including New York.
Yes.
What was that like? Because I can only imagine it was amazing.
Well, I've done a few shows now, and the one in New York was I was really nervous for it. It was with a new brand that I'd worked with, and I was so nervous. And right before I went out, I was opening for this designer, and right before I went out, all the music cut so they could switch it to the next songs, and all the lights went out, and everyone was like, what is going on? And I walked down the runway. I'm literally 5'3" and a half. I'm really short, and I'm a bigger girl, and all of these people in the show before were all, you know, these perfect people. And I walked out and everyone was like, oh my God, wow. Like, it's like an actual normal person. And it's just nice to see things moving, because I think, you know, we look at social media and we look at even TV shows that we see, and people all look the same, you know, and that is moving now, and that's really, really nice to see.
It's amazing to see.
And I was actually at that runway show, and I spotted you, which is so crazy because that was a couple of years ago now, and I think it was like an autumn-winter fashion show as well. And it was just a beautiful show because there was such diversity within it. The fashion was beautiful, and everyone just looked like they were owning it. I think that's one thing I took away from that show. There was life, there was energy, and you all just looked super sassy, which was amazing to see.
So how old were you then? Because
Oh,
you've only just turned 17. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks. 15? Probably
Amazing.
15.
That's
2 years ago.
incredible.
Maybe 14. 14 or 15. I
That
was
is
still
so
really young,
incredible.
yeah.
I can't even imagine having enough confidence at 14 to do that. So you're just such an inspiration. honestly.
And how do you find that confidence? Or like, was it sort of innate, or did it something you learned?
I don't know, because when I was in school, I was really bullied. So I had no confidence in myself. Like, looking back, I would, you know, I'd be in a shop and I wouldn't look in a mirror. Like, it was really bad at one point. I'd look in the mirror and was just so horrible to myself. And it kind of came. My mum and dad have like always been bigger people, and my mum was always, you know, feeling comfortable in her body, saying, you know, it's okay to look differently. And I think it just came with time. I moved to a performing arts school when I was 10, and it was all ballerinas. So they were all tiny girls, and I was like, what am I doing here? I loved the school, but I looked so differently to everybody else. And I think with that just comes, well, you know, it doesn't matter, and that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right to be a different like body shape, or, you know, that doesn't matter. It took a while to understand that and to get through that, but it did eventually come through. But yeah, it's work. It takes work.
Definitely. And you're still before, you know, your 20s, and you've got all this confidence. So you've got so much more to show the world, which is amazing. And for me, my confidence only came like 3 years ago. Everyone's always like, oh, you're the most confident person I know. But actually, it really did come after working for Curvy Kate. I can't lie. It was just something that I remember starting lives, and I had all my clothes on, and I was starting the live with all my clothes on, and I was just showing the piece in my hands. And then week by week, I was like, I'm just going to take something off.
Yeah.
And then now I'm there in a G-string and a see-through bra. Like, I love this, and I own it. And I think that is the difference. It's kind of getting like positive responses from people around you, but also like building up that confidence and seeing yourself grow and glow is amazing.
Totally. Yeah. I think I'm still working on my confidence, but I'll get there, girls.
Oh, we love you, Phoebe. You're amazing.
Well, Katie's usually the one in front of the camera, and I'm behind it. And I watch, and throughout lockdown and like pre-COVID, post-COVID, she's just like flourished as well. It's been a pleasure to watch, and I'm like, go girl, and behind the screen.
Yeah, Phoebe's my number one hype. We all need a hype woman. Who is yours?
Definitely my mum.
Yeah,
she's also brutally honest. She's like, you do not look good in that, go and change. Or like, yeah, you look great, like go out. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, you look really nice. The other time she's like, please don't wear that, you look ridiculous.
Look,
and
it's
I'm
like
like,
having
okay.
your best friends. I need to tell you when something's wrong and when something's good as well.
Exactly.
So that's what you need in your life.
Exactly. You're right.
Yeah, definitely. Like my mum, oh my gosh, I remember she bought me this dress to wear for my 30th birthday. I don't like people buying me clothes. I am my own person. Do not project this onto me. Yeah. But she bought me this dress, and she's like, Katie, I'd love you to wear it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? And it was yellow lace.
Wow.
With like sequins underneath. And I looked at it, I put it on, and I felt like an absolute goddess.
Yeah.
But just looking at it, I was like, I would
like,
never have picked that up. But my mum just, obviously, she knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like an amazing moment. And I think, yeah, mums are amazing hype women.
Mums are the one, guys. I think so too.
So, I mean, this leads lovely into our next question. And it's kind of like, how do you think that parents and teachers and kind of like elders in our lives can help us to grow and promote body confidence and self-love? Do you think there's still a space for that?
1,000%. You know, we learn, you know, everything from somewhere. So whether that's from, you know, learning maths in a classroom or from being able to love your body, we learn that character and that, you know, that trait from somebody. And I think our parents and our teachers and, you know, our best friends, the people we're around all the time, have a massive influence on that. And I think it's just being open with somebody. If somebody's saying something that makes you feel uncomfortable, something that, you know, isn't making you feel good, I think it's being able to be open and say, I don't appreciate you saying that. That's making me feel uncomfortable. And that's really important. Something that took me a very long time to learn. Because I'm like not a confrontational person at all. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Same.
But I think you have to, and that's how, you know, you can feel comfortable in your life. And even, you know, with teachers, we don't think it has that much of an impact on us. But I still remember the things that teachers have said to me in the past. Like, that sticks in my brain. So I think just being nice people. Everybody should just be nice. And I say it all the time, but being nice costs you nothing. Being kind is so important. And yeah, I think it's just spread the kind message, guys. Just be nice to everyone.
Throw it around like confetti.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm so here for that. And I totally agree. I think school is where you're most impressionable. You're going through so much. And I think from the age of, I got my periods at 11.
Yes.
I overnight developed these boobs. And I remember going to swimming and I put on that little Speedo swimsuit without any underwires, and I had these things, and I was doing backstroke. And still to this day, I remember just backstroking and seeing a line of boys just laughing and pointing and going jiggly jiggly, like jelly, like just saying all of these things. I was 11 and I'm 32. And I
bet they're in your DMs
that.
now, like, that's fine now.
Still going jiggly jiggly.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's so much, and I think even the way the teachers respond to you, I think there's a massive learning. And I don't know, I haven't been to school. You can tell us this, but for example, with school uniforms, one of the things that I personally find very hard to see is when I'm in a queue waiting and all the girls are walking into school and I see uniforms, I see blouses not being able to do up because of boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I see school skirts that are short, not because the girl wants it to be short, but she's just had a growth spurt.
Yes.
Her butt just grew.
Yes.
But she's then being told, oh,
You can't
your
wear
skirt's
that.
too short, your shirt's too tight, you need to go get changed, take off that makeup. All of these things that for me were like such a negative aspect of school because my body is not in my control at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You
Hormones.
can't stop that, no.
And you grow out of your uniform so quickly, so of course your clothes are going to be a bit tight for you occasionally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Did you have anyone at school that kind of said, do you know what, it's okay, like you're going through changes, get a bra
Yeah.
fit in, for example?
Well-
Does anyone advise you on that?
Well, when I was like fully going through puberty, getting my period, that kind of thing, I was boarding at school. So I had these house parents who were like 60 years old, and I was like, what are they going to tell me what to do? But I remember my shirts were always busting open. And even when I was in primary school, everyone was wearing pinafores. So they would go up and they didn't have one to fit me at one point. So I had to wear skirts and everybody else was wearing pinafores and I was the odd one out wearing a skirt. And at that point I was like, oh my God, I'm so cool. I've got a skirt on. But like looking back, like I felt a bit weird. I was like, everybody else has pinafores on. Like,
yeah, because
what's
then
going
you're
on?
the odd one out.
I was massively as well. But yeah, like even going into schools now with my school tour, it's like miniature little prisons for people. I say it all the time. Like school is, we are so, like we change so much when we're in school, and you're so right. You can't help if your boobs grow or if your hips get wider, or if your bum grows. That's things you can't change. And so I definitely experienced that whilst I was in school, and even seeing kids going through it now.
Yeah.
You can see how they're sitting a bit uncomfortable in their chairs. They're like slouching their shoulders
Awkward.
so that their top doesn't bust open, and they're not sitting properly because their skirt's too short and they're having to pull their skirt down.
Yeah.
And so I definitely still see it now. But yeah, massively still see it.
How did your school tour come about? I'd love to know more about it.
So I was with my producer, who you met the other day.
Yes.
And he's who I've written all of my song with. And he had somebody who was like, I think you should go on school tour. And I was like, what's that? He was like, basically you just tour around the country, going into different schools. I think he'd be great for it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I spoke to my tour manager, and he was like, I think you should talk about body positivity, body confidence, mental health issues in the in school and with what we were going through. And I was like, cool, okay. And he was like, you obviously sing a few songs. I was like, yeah, good. So it kind of all just came about. I remember my first day, the night before, I was like, I can't do this, guys. I was at this Holiday Inn and I was like, I can't do this. We're in Bath. And I was like, really, guys, I can't do it. I'm so nervous. And things just got easier. When you do something for long amounts of times, things just get
But
normal.
even that, like I'm saying, at school, is there that education? I never had a cool 17-year-old girl
never.
coming to sing
Yeah.
songs and talk to me about body positivity. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like you are trailblazing
But
there
it
with
is
something
the,
like that.
the new age. I say it all the time. Kids are not going to respond to teachers who have no idea about social media. You can bring in your PSHE teacher and they can talk about, how to use social media in a positive way and how to stay safe on social media, but they are not experiencing it firsthand. They're not experiencing growing up in the social media age.
Exactly.
And that is why, you know, I come in and say to these kids, I'm on social media every day. I see firsthand that it can be really, really damaging. So take it from me, use it in the right way, and it can be really, really positive.
I love
But,
that.
yeah.
So nice.
That's very interesting because I often think as well, when I was at school, if you got bullied, you could kind of go home,
Yes.
shut the front door,
Yeah.
and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll, big myself
Yeah.
up for tomorrow. But with social media,
Yeah.
you can't
Never
get
ends.
away
You can't
from
get
it.
away from it.
Yeah, it keeps going. You know, I get messages from kids all the time that are like, it's so sad to see what they're going through. And it takes me right back to what I was going through, because even at that point, I didn't have a phone. You know, when I was being bullied, I didn't have a phone. Like, I could go home and just cry to my mum. Like, eventually, I didn't tell her for a very long time, but I could go and say, you know, this has happened, or like, I've had a bad day at school, and it would stop. But now, if I was being bullied, or, you know, I was going into college or uni and girls were being horrible to me, that could continue online. And even with people you don't know, you know,
Yeah.
we were speaking about it before. You can I get messages all the time from people I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these people. I'm not seeing them at school every day, and I can still get horrible messages from them. But yeah, so it doesn't stop.
It's like
now.
the screen gives them an extra layer of like, I don't give a crap.
1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, these kids go on, and even adults, they're like, I'm gonna message this person something really horrible. They've got this
Yeah.
confidence behind a screen. They think because they can't
Exactly,
they
yeah.
can't be seen. It's not
Yeah.
their face, is it?
It's almost like they didn't do it if they're not face to face. They can probably just, you know, turn the computer off and go back to their family or
Yeah.
their friends and like as if nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So what advice do you give when you kind of tell the school? I think even, you know, we're not in school right now, but I think it's still great advice for anyone listening to this podcast and anyone who's on social media.
I think just with mental health, I think there's such a stigma of, you know, talking to people and saying, you know what, I'm really struggling with mental health. Like, I've got anxiety, you know, I'm really struggling at the moment. And I think it's just so important to open up and to talk to people. It's easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah.
But once you do, even talking to like your friend and getting it off your chest is so important. You know, we think about things too much sometimes, you know, and we go down this spiral. And it's really helpful just to say, I can't, I'm really struggling and I don't know what to do. Like, it's just important to talk to people, I think.
Get it off your chest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Do you get any like really positive responses from the kids in the assemblies that you're
Yeah,
doing?
that's what I live for. Those really lovely messages after like, oh, I'm gonna start singing now because of you,
that's
or
amazing.
and it really brightens my day. You know, I come home after like a long day and I'm like, oh, let's read through all these messages, and that's what brightens my day. It's like, I'm gonna start singing because of you. You know, I'm gonna talk to my parents because of what you've said, and that is the best part, all the lovely messages. Yeah.
Oh, I
Love
love
that.
that. See, there's going to be a podcast in like 20 years' time, and someone's going to be like, I remember Lex Gibbon coming to my school, and she made me feel body confident.
I hope so.
And I
really
think,
do.
yeah, I think that's just amazing.
Yeah. And you're quite big on TikTok at the moment.
Well, I try.
I watch all your videos. She's a TikTok star. So I recommend anyone to go follow Lex Gibbon on TikTok and Instagram, because there's some really inspiring videos. You can hear her music on there.
Thanks, Scott.
Really great. What?
dilemmas.
Oh, okay. Okay, so at the end of each podcast, we're going to answer some bra dilemmas from our followers on social media.
Yes.
But before we start, I just want to ask Lex if she's ever had any questions, maybe before getting a bra fitting by Katie, that you would have like really wished, you know, you had someone like Katie around to answer for you.
What was I gonna say? Bra dilemmas. Let's think about it. I think it would be, well, I never knew how a bra should fit before. I didn't know, you know, if this, what's this called? A middle bit?
Centre gore.
Centre gore. I didn't know where that should sit. I didn't know how tight my strap should be. I didn't know how many, the clips that it should be. I didn't know if it was just the first or the third. I never knew. So that kind of thing. Well, how should a bra actually fit?
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting point, because obviously if someone your age, what they're seeing is what they're consuming on social media. And if everyone on your pages aren't wearing great fitting bras, all you're ever going to see is that. If your mum was never taught and you see her getting dressed, all you're ever going to see is that, or your sister or your auntie or your guardian. So a good fitting bra should feel comfortable. Can we just those memes, bun up, bra off, like get over it. No, you shouldn't feel like you want to take your bra off at the end of the day. It should just feel like it's sat there. My mum says, oh, when I wear a Curvy Kate bra, it's like getting a hug. and it should feel like that, like a little hug. And you always want to be wearing your bra on the loosest hook when you first get it. So a brand new bra, loosest hook. And the reason why you have 3 hook and eyes is for longevity out of your bra, okay? So you want to tighten it up every 4 months.
Wow.
So after 4 months, put it on the middle hook, and after 8 months, put it to the tightest, and then that gives you a year out of your everyday bra.
Wow.
And you do need to treat yourself every year to a new bra.
I feel like people don't know that. People don't. I think I've had bras before that I've worn for like 3 years.
Yeah,
And they're still in my wardrobe.
if it's a bra you get out like once a week, then that's okay. But if it's your day in, day out, trusted bra, I'm afraid we'll have to replace
Every
her
year.
after a
Yeah.
year.
Wow. Never knew that.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the tips where people are like, oh, those at the back of the bra. Is that what that's for? I've always bought it on the tightest and then wondered what it was about.
Yeah.
And then straps. So ladies, do not use their straps, or they overuse them. But what we need is a happy medium. So we need enough tension to give your boobs what I call an oomph. It's like a little oomph, but it's not holding them up.
Yeah.
Because your back band holds your
Right.
boobs up.
Okay.
So 80% of your support comes from your back band, and your straps give you that little oomph.
Yeah.
And your centre gore should always sit between your boobs. Always. It shouldn't be floating.
Oh, so it should sit on your chest bone.
Or like between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, right.
it should nicely
Interesting.
separate. Some ladies do have
Interesting.
closer set boobs. That makes it a bit more difficult to get that closeness, but get it as close as you can. But I'm sure many ladies listening will be like, oh, looking down. That's not quite between my boobs. So yeah, they're my top tips.
Yeah.
And also underwires. They should
Yes.
never be digging into breast tissue, and that's a really important one for breast health and also comfort.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Katie. Okay, so now I'm going to go to some questions from our followers. We put a little question box out on Instagram a few weeks ago. So, Katie's not heard these either, so she's really getting put on the spot. We're testing her bra fitting skills.
I wanted a surprise.
She wanted a surprise. She's going to get one. So I'll just go for one. Boobs are quite far apart, but want a nice full cleavage. What can she do?
Oh, okay. So we call this the east-west situation. and many women see their boobs, they look down and they're like, east-west, they're under your armpits. They're going in different directions. And it's kind of a very desirable thing to want your boobs to be in the centre of your chest for comfort, but also for outfits.
Yes.
So the best style bras that I would suggest would be a side support bra. So we've got the Victory bra, the Wonderful bra, and what the side support is like an additional panel that kind of sits at the side of the cup, and it brings all that breast tissue right round from under your armpit into the centre of your cup. And it just makes everything look streamlined, uplifted, and what we like to say, forward projected.
Yeah, forward projecting. I like to say it pushes them in and up.
Yeah, but those two bras are best for bringing the boobs in. But if you want cleavage, I would go for Super Plunge Kiss.
It's a great bra.
Oh, I could, Lex. I mean, we're gonna have to get you in one of those because you're 17 now. You can put a Super Plunge Kiss on. The cleavage is unreal, and it's a center closure as well. So it kind of like you really feel like you're bringing your boobs in to the middle.
Imagine, yeah.
So they're the bras I would recommend.
Thank you. Okay, let's go for another dilemma. How do bras stay comfortable even when it's changing, even when your boobs are changing aside due to your menstrual cycle?
Ooh, that is a very interesting
it?
question
Yeah.
because I don't know about you ladies, but suffer massively with painful boobs and growing boobs.
Yeah, especially at the time of the month.
Yeah.
When they'll go bigger. I'm like, oh, this is nice, but then nothing fits.
They look so
Yeah.
juicy. So yeah, a stretch top cup bra is a really nice option to have. So if you know, like, okay, in my cycle, a week before my period, my boobs grow and I want to be comfy, get yourself a stretch cup bra to wear in those situations. So something like Twice the Fun bralette is amazing for that. It's non-wired, so you don't have to worry about the wires digging in, but it's also stretch lace. What else? What can I say? Sometimes if you see like a massive difference in size, actually get yourself a cup size up. And just know that you've got that cup size up in your lingerie drawer.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're my top period boob tips.
Okay, shall we go for one more dilemma?
I think let's one more. Come on.
Okay, any wireless styles for full at the bottom breasts with a nice lift?
Ooh, wireless.
Yeah, wireless.
Wireless.
That's what they said, but non-wired.
Non-wired.
Yeah, she's put wireless. We're not Wi-Fi over here.
Festival season. Okay, I would say Get Up and Chill. Get Up and Chill does have a microfiber cup, so it's really structured, and it also has a side support panel, so it kind of lifts your boobs upwards. You got a really nice like keyhole centre front, so it feels lighter, but it's still supporting you.
Yeah, it's
got that
super
stretch
comfortable.
top cup. That is actually one of my favourite soft cut bralettes that we do. Like I don't feel like I'm wearing that bra. It's like a cloud on your body. Imagine a cloud. You're wearing a cloud. So nice.
Lex, have you tried any of our non-wired bras?
I've never put a bralette on my life.
Okay. Oh,
Never.
Did you put
I
it
can
on your
change that
list?
for you.
I've never put one on ever. Isn't that mad?
But amazing to hear actually, because you're 17, and I would have thought it's a very much 17-year-old thing to be
Well,
wearing.
it is, but
You never knew you could get one in your size.
It's like, you know, all my
Well,
friends
that's
would be
the
like,
thing.
I've got this bra on, and I'm like, all right, with your small boobs, like lucky you. I'm like, that's
Okay.
never gonna work for me.
Next
But maybe
slumber
we'll change
party,
that.
you're going to be
Enter
showing off
Curvy
your
Kate,
bralettes.
we're here for you.
We have got you, 100%. And we're going to empower you.
Yeah!
Because we've got news for you. Well, I think that's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time talking to you. And I just want to say, I think you're a really great example of someone doesn't have to be older for people to look up to them, because you're like 10 years younger than me, and I just think the things that you're doing, and you're just smashing it, and you're gonna be a star.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Me and Phoebe are going to be like your groupie.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. It's been so nice to talk to you.
No,
thank you
you
so
are
much.
fabulous. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And just let us know, Lex, how can people find you?
all my socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
But how
is
do we spell you?
Lex Gibbon, so Lexgibbon, like the gibbon, like the monkey.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lex Gibbon, go follow
Thank
her.
you.
Go keep up with Lex. That will also be a Netflix show very
Yeah.
soon.
And we'll be in that as well.
Yeah, you will. I promise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.